It's dead, it's dead, it's dead, it's dead, it's dead. It's not dead, dead. What's happening, film friends? Dave the Film Junkee here. I apologize for not having a Film Junkee live tonight. Just didn't have time. Yes, the daytime work and just, you know, the fact that there wasn't really much to talk about. And I thought, okay, well, I wanted to talk about this subject right here because it's been the topic of discussion big time. Look at the timeline. Everybody's just talking about the DCEU and the future of the DCEU. That's pretty much what it is. And of course, you have people that are saying that the DCEU is dead. And I did, of course, run some polls, which we'll look at in a little bit here. And, you know, I just wanted to just have this conversation because, you know, is it in fact dead? Is the DCEU dead now with all the information that we've gotten with Ben Affleck saying he's pretty much, you know, he's done with it, and the information that we've gotten from the Flash movie, and then of course we've seen the set photos from Batgirl. It's been a couple weeks. A lot of doom and gloom out there. A lot of doom and gloom, which is just, it's disappointing because I'm just kind of going like, all right, so I just kind of watch all this. Watch things happening. I mean, especially on Twitter. I mean, Twitter, of course, is just a cesspool of all kinds of madness. But, you know, I'm not going to walk away from it. It's entertaining. You just scroll through and you see some stuff. You see some dogpiling happening. You see just a lot of doom and gloom. And then, of course, you see the positive side, too. But then it's always kind of funny when this subject and everything, because I literally saw like somebody who's always been anti, you know, the Snyderverse pretty much. They've been very much that, call out somebody who's a Snyder fan saying like, see, this person wants something that's very much not like canon. That just shows that they're not DC fans. In what world is Michael Keaton's Batman coming into another universe canon? A lot of craziness out there. People just with their hot takes. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. And then of course a lot of denial, obviously, with Ben Affleck basically just telling everybody like, yeah, I'm done. And said I had a bad experience with Justice League. Obviously, I covered it like crazy. You can watch those videos and live streams, all that stuff. And I'm not going to just like go over that again. Right now, I'm just like, hey, whatever Ben wants, cool. If something else happens in the future, fantastic. Right now, I'm just going, I can't wait to watch The Tender Bar because I haven't watched it yet, and I plan on watching it. But yeah, there's going to be some agitators out there. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. There's those agitators. I mean, I don't know how many times, you know, I'm not going to talk about it again. I'm not going to talk about this, the Snyderverse, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, 26 minutes later, you're talking about it again. Never say you're not going to talk about anything again, because then when you talk about it again, people are going to call you out. And just don't do that. That's why I'm like, maybe, I don't know if I've probably not done that in the past, where I'm like, hey, no, I'm just going to, if I'm going to not talk about something, just don't talk about it. Or just don't even say anything about that. So yeah, there's all that stuff. It's just, but yeah, I mean, that's what it's been. And then of course the future, I mean, obviously you have, you know, my little thumbnail right here that has like, is this the future right here? Obviously we have, you know, we have Ezra, his Flash is going to be moving forward. And there's just a lot of things. I mean, every question that we have of what is happening is going to be answered with the Flash. With all the Batgirl stuff and the mural with Batman and Robin and all this stuff, I mean, like, and how does Michael Keaton's Batman fit in here? We have J.K. Simmons, Commissioner Gordon. Yes, it absolutely does sound like it's like you know, it sounds like an absolute mess. It absolutely sounds like a mess, but we don't know exactly how everything's going to fit together. What's being pieced together right now? I mean, obviously, when it comes to DC, they never really had, like, you know, they never had a Kevin Feige. And I think that was always a thing, that they needed, like, some kind of Kevin Feige to kind of just go, all right, here we go. Just a producer of all this stuff. They needed that. And a lot of people were always saying, like, oh, Zack Snyder should have done it. Fuck no. He's a filmmaker. He was never going to do anything like that. Well, what about Deborah? Fuck no. She wasn't going to do that either. I mean, that's just, there's so many different hot takes. And then people were saying like Jim Lee. I'm like, yeah, but Jim Lee, you know, he's comic books and whatever. And at one point, yes, they tried to get the guy with the ball cap to do something like this, to be that next Kevin Feige. And guess what? It went straight up to his fucking balding head. His head got big. So big, he couldn't put a ball cap on it anymore. You know, and they tried. They tried with Jeff Johns, and it just didn't work. Obviously, it didn't work. But, you know, so I don't know when it comes to stuff like that. Obviously, we got Walter Hamada. That guy's a cocksucker. We know that. So, you know, why even, you know, anything that he's pretty much touched has not really done as well as it should. So, I mean, it was always a thing. There was always like the different takes. Oh, yeah, there's going to be this person and that person and this person. It's just, you know, it's just, who knows why Warner Brothers, DC, they couldn't really exactly do what. I think it was just because when Zack came in and they asked Christopher Nolan, can you do what you did with The Dark Knight to Superman? Can you ground him? Can you do something like that? He said no, but I know a guy who can. And he called Zack. And Zack very much did that. But you can only do it so much. You can only ground Superman so much. And then they're like, all right, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. We're going to get Batman in here. We're going to get Wonder Woman. We're going to build up to the Justice League. A lot of people said that was way too rushed. And to me, it just, when you watch, I mean, if we would have got the entire arc, it would have been like, who knows how many hours, maybe almost, you know, almost pushing 20 hours of this Superman story where he goes through and you have everybody that shows up in it, which happens a lot when you have like a particular off story that's not like fully with the canon, where you could just have a character go through a story and other characters show up too. I mean, it was essentially supposed to be a 5-part Superman story arc. So, you know, with just everybody else. And then, of course, it was all going to branch off and people were going to take these characters to wherever they could. And that's pretty much what's happening kind of like right now. I mean, you know, regardless of how you feel about what's the state of the DCU right now, whether it's Birds of Prey, which, you know, sadly wasn't, I mean, it seemed like there was studio fuckery right there, but whatever. And then, of course, Wonder Woman 84, that was a big thing where it's like, yeah, okay, kind of, that didn't really hit. I was rooting for it, really rooting for it after that first trailer, but didn't quite hit. There's things I like about it, things I don't. You know, there's just those kind of things. And then, of course, now you got Matt Reeves going, can I just do my own thing? And he's like, and they're like, yeah, go ahead, do your own thing. We're like, thank fucking Christ. Now we have the Flash, Batgirl, and then other characters too. You got Blue Beetle coming out. You got Black Canary movie coming out. It's going to be introduced. So they're trying to put something together. Obviously, Suicide Squad, Peacemaker's in there somewhere. I know it all seems like it's getting pretty messy, but the fact of the matter is, it's trying to go somewhere. It's trying to go somewhere. And when people are saying like, you know, when it comes to the DCEU being dead, it's just you know, it's an interesting. It's an interesting response that I got, particularly when it came to when I posted on YouTube. I posted the poll that I was like, all right, so, you know, talk to me, guys. What is happening when it comes to the DCU being dead? So here's the poll right here. I asked, is the DCU dead? And we have over 1,100 votes right here, and 16% said nah. I'll put that, and then 42% yes. 35%, it's on life support. 7% intrigued for the future. And I'm not going to open up all the comments because, you know, obviously people were like commenting about it and everything like that. But it is interesting because, well, you know, 42%, yes, it's dead. So a lot of you are saying that it is in fact dead. And I'm just kind of going, okay, so are we just going to completely move on now? That's what I'm kind of wondering. The life support option, I can get behind that because I think it's a little bit on life support because they don't know exactly what they are trying to do here, and, you know, dates and stuff like that. You know, there's always, I can get behind that. I can get behind that one at least, okay? And only 7% are, you know, I'm intrigued about the future. I'm intrigued about the Flash just to see where things go. And I've said many times to you guys of like how, like why I am, because of the people who have read the script and said great things about the script. That's what it is. And I'm also going to bring up this poll too that was pretty interesting from DCU movie page right here. Genuine question: what DC movie this year you are most excited to see that wasn't the Batman? And look at what won: the Flash. See, that's pretty interesting to me. Very interesting to me because thought everybody was hating this movie. Guess there's an audience for it that are still kind of intrigued by it, and there is some kind of pull when it comes to the fact that Michael Keaton is returning I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also going, okay, how is all this going to happen? Why is he in Batgirl? I got questions too, guys. But the bottom line with this whole thing, and then, of course, we got the scooping game, which I'm just so freaking tired of because we're just going to hear more and more. And then you got other scoopers and then scoopers that want to tell you what you want to hear. There's a piece that came out today, of course, which, had the very line that said DCEU's dead. While, like, for the past year, they've been saying, like, no, it's not dead. No, it's not dead. Because if you're going to say the DCEU is dead, it's almost like you're going to be like, okay, so that means what? No hope for any kind of restoration of the Snyderverse? It's just, there's just stuff like that when I see people just totally just throw in the towel. Are you really throwing in the towel? Because it just seems like it's just reactionary. I don't know. And I think we should all just be patient. Of course, we got the merger happening. Now we can't just sit there and go like, oh my God, please save us all. They're going to say, that's what's kind of funny too. Remember all those articles that say that this movie's going to save the DCEU and everybody get pissed about that. Now you got that side going, oh, the DCEU is dead. And I'm just like, everything's so reactionary when it comes to nowadays and social media. It's just so reactionary. And I'm just kind of like, can we just, can we pump the brakes, relax a little bit, sit back, pour a glass of wine or something like that? I don't know. Just relax a little bit. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm still curious to see what James Wan does with Aquaman 2 and Shazam 2. All that's going to be out there too, And so, there's just so many different things that we have to just kind of wait on, but I know, like, when it came to what we know, like that, like I said, I always have it displayed, that trilogy right there that Zack Snyder created. Sure, it's a little bit incomplete because it was supposed to be a couple more movies. Yes, sure. But at the same time, he was never going to be that Kevin Feige. And it was never going to be like, okay, this is what I want you to do. There's been bullshit rumors out there too that he was definitely like, oh, he was setting up a Flashpoint. That's why he had Jeffrey Dean Morgan cast. And I'm like, I asked him, on my show, was that ever the intent? He said, no, it's just, there's a lot of things where fans just kind of I don't know, just come up with their own theories. And then, of course, it just ends up on a Reddit thread and people just automatically believe it. And I don't know. There's just a lot of things that are out there. And just, you got to like sift through a lot of the BS because, yeah, like I said, there's people that were saying like, oh yeah, Zack is having meetings with Discovery and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, he was not. No, Zack is very heavily in pre-production for Rebel Moon and probably in a little bit of pre-production for numerous other things. Probably with, the Army and, Army 2 is coming out. He's going to be shooting that after. Other movies, other projects. There's probably a lot of that. I mean, that's where I'm just like, if anything, I was like, I'm hoping that if he's having any kind of discussions, it's with like DC Comics where we can like maybe get something rolling where it's like, if we don't, and, of course, this is not the popular opinion, and let the dog pile begin. But I'm like, if we don't get the sequels live action, can we get something in a book or an animation or something like that? DC Films, Jim Lee, can you please we just want to see the finish of the story. But Dave Zaslav, he's going to come in and save the day. We can't think like that. Again, I've said it before. We thought about that when it came to previous people. So we can't, that's pretty much what's going to be happening when it comes to Discovery in there. But, and then, of course, you got people saying that, oh, yeah, he's 100% wants to restore the Snyderverse. And I'm like, okay, but it's going to be kind of difficult when there's certain people that don't want to return. I mean, the whole recast Batfleck. And I went, that wouldn't feel right if he was not in the Justice League sequels. I don't know about you guys. When I see people saying that they should just recast him, I go, that wouldn't feel right. You watch Zack Snyder's Justice League, he's the star. He's like the leader. Him and Gal. So you're just gonna replace, just have another actor now? You just want another actor. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it just wouldn't feel the same to me if they recast any of them. That's the thing. I don't know. It's all, when you think about it, you just all kind of it's very interesting. It's very interesting. The way people are reacting to all this and stuff like that. And I'm just kind of going like, all right, you know what? Let's just wait and see what happens. I mean, sadly, it's going to be, a little bit of a long year before the Flash comes out. And then it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, of course. It won't be. People who have already put it in their heads that they're going to hate it and it's going to be a mess, they're just going to hate it, you know. It'd be nice, like, if they, you know, were going to actually not see the movie, but I think a lot of people are just going to end up seeing the movie anyways, even though there's a boycott or something like that. I don't know. There's still going to be people that are going to see the movie. All I could say is, thank God that Matt Reeves is doing his own thing right now. That's all I can say. But yeah, I don't say the DCEU is dead. It's got an interesting future. And we'll see. Like, when people say, like, oh, we're all going to get wiped out. With one movie, Supergirl is going to be guarding Metropolis. In one movie, Batgirl is going to be guarding Gotham. And I'm just kind of going, in one movie? Just one little story. Is that what's going to be happening? Because it looks like with the Flash, you know, it's kind of got a Flashpoint Superman scenario where she's held captive, and there's something weird that happens with there, and then there's other characters too. Somebody who wears a big coat, which, you know, it's Aquaman. That's probably going to be showing up in the Flash movie. I don't know. There's just so many different things, and it would be awesome if, like, the Flash movie ends up being something just like, oh shit, wasn't expecting that. I don't know. I can only hope and be optimistic for it. Sure, that's it. That's it. But there you go. That's my 2 cents. Sorry I rambled on, as I do. Let me know your thoughts about it down below, guys. What do you think about all this? I mean, are we doom and gloom and just saying it's done, it's finito, and that's going to be it? Or are we just going to be like, all right, it's kind of on life support right now. Let's see what happens. Merger, all this stuff. Where are they going to, you know, what's going to happen? Are they going to right the ship? And then if you're absolutely done, again, and I've said this many times, you're absolutely finished with all this, and you're still a fan of Zack Snyder, please take all the energy that you're throwing on your social media and throw it at his projects, his original projects. Please do that. Okay? Do that. Hit that like, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you want to become a member, it's all there. Patreon, all that stuff. Film Junkee Closet down below. All right, guys. Talk to you later.